Join me as I take on the challenge of deciding whether to sand and paint again my 3D printed Star-Lord helmet or leave it as is. Today, I'm excited to share with you a project I've been working on, a 3D printed Star-Lord helmet. But as I've gotten to this stage where I've hit a bit of a dilemma, after removing the masking tape, should I sand and paint again the printed piece or leave it as is? That's what we're going to explore in this video. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to finishing 3D printed objects is dealing with the texture and appearance. You've got layer lines, rough edges, and sometimes even blobs of excess material. It can be really tough to get a smooth finish, especially on a complex shape like this helmet. When you're working with a 3D printed object, you've got to consider the material, the printer settings, and even the design itself. All of these factors can affect the final texture and appearance of the print, and when you're trying to achieve a high gloss, smooth finish like on the Star-Lord helmet, it can be a real challenge. For me, one of the biggest hurdles is deciding whether or not to sand the helmet. On the one hand, sanding can really help to smooth out those layer lines and give the helmet a more polished look. On the other hand, it can be a really time-consuming process, and if you're not careful, you can end up scratching the surface or even removing too much material. So, when it comes to sanding the helmet, there are some definite pros and cons to consider. On the plus side, sanding can help to remove imperfections and give the helmet a more uniform texture. It can also help to bring out the details and really make the design pop. On the downside, sanding can be a slow and laborious process, or you can have a loss of motivation that makes you leave the project parked for a long time like it happened to me. Another consideration is the amount of time involved. Sanding can take hours, even days, depending on the size and complexity of the print, and if you're working with a tight deadline, that can be a major drawback. On the other hand, if you're willing to put in the time and effort, the results can be really stunning. I did decide to sand and paint the helmet, and for being the first one I made, I'm really happy with the results. But as you can see, after leaving my helmet with the tape on for a long time, there are remnants of glue in an important part, and now, what do I do? The remains resemble when Peter Quill frees in space in the movie, and that is cool, but I don't want to look as if it's unfinished or something. It isn't an easy decision, and sand and paint again will take a lot of time and effort. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Ultimately, whether or not to sand your 3D printed object comes down to personal preference. If you're willing to put in the time and effort, sanding can be a great way to achieve a high gloss finish, but if you're short on time or just prefer a more textured look, leaving the print as is can be a great option too. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you sand your 3D printed objects, or do you prefer to leave them as is? What would you do in my situation? Let me know. And if you're looking for more 3D printing tips and tricks, be sure to check out my other videos for more content like this. If you liked this video, it will be great if you can like, share this video, and subscribe to my Fricart 3D YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and happy printing!